Hello again, all you Nakama out there. I'm Brock.
I'm Burke.
I'm Alex.
And we welcome you back to the Yonko Podcast with our One Piece chapter 1089 Predictions.
Indeed.
In 2 weeks' time.
In 2 weeks' time. There was a break, but you know what? I think after what we just witnessed, we need
I need some time.
That was intense.
Need to process.
Okay. Burke, why'd you go first this time?
So I'm just going to go with an old reliable for this one. So my theory for a long time, and now that we are heading back to Egghead, my theory for a long time is that the Blackbeard ship that is outside of Egghead holds one Katarina Devon with her ability to change into other people.
And the tap dancer?
Lafitte?
Yeah.
I believe so.
I think we've seen
I would assume he's probably with her. Anybody else we're missing? That could be potentially.
To be clear, I mean, Lafitte, back when the warlords were gathering,
puddings on.
pre-time skip. No, because they were on the law ship, remember?
No, I know. Oh, good point.
Yeah,
you're
right.
You're right.
But Lafitte got all the way up to the warlord meeting in Marijois, like, tap, 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 tap. I've got a great cannon for you. Woohoo!
Yeah, no, you're right.
He's great at infiltrating, too. Somehow.
Anyway, all of that to say, Katarina Devon, with her ability to face swap, change into other people, I've held it that she either will turn into a Vegapunk, a Celestial Dragon, World Noble,
Mr.
Gorosei,
Saturn.
Mr. Saturn. Gosh dang it. And will try and wrest control of the Seraphim away from the Vegapunks. Obviously, at this point, York would be the one in control. So either our real Garcia Saturn or a fake one could be potentially doing this. And then I have always posited that part of that will be somehow she's also going to blame a Seraphim attack on Luffy. Or like the death of St. J. Garcia Saturn on Luffy, which will rally the world against him, cause a lot more of an outbreak for that. More fire for what is coming to be known as the Egghead incident. So I think the building blocks of that will start to come into fruition. Based on the end of this chapter, it almost makes me feel like, are the Marines there? Are they arriving, or is that a flash forward?
It looks like the island is under siege.
Or like
it seems like
arriving.
they have. I'd be sad if we had to go to Egghead and then it's like back in time. They're not there yet. I feel like we wouldn't have shown them.
I'm okay with
there.
that, but I'm also kind of like, can we get to it?
I kind of like to
start
start the siege.
Crazy shit
I
now?
kind of like to start the siege.
Yeah. I'm always down for a good siege. I'm a classic Lord of the Rings guy. I love all those sieges in those movies, man.
Yeah, man.
But all that to say, I think the puzzle pieces will start falling into place for that line of events, potentially. I do think, as much as I would like it to start with the Marines having arrived at Egghead, I think we will probably flash back, catch up on a few things with our crew. I bet you anything, by the time the actual assault begins, our crew has some things under a little bit more control than we last left them, because we had Usopp, Lilith, Frankie was half frozen in stone, Edison was just dead, wasn't he? Wasn't he smashed or some crap?
I think Pythagoras?
Pythagoras was like blown up by York.
No, but he was the little guy.
No, Edison's the little guy.
Pythagoras
No,
is the big
Pythagoras is also the little guy because his big thing
his
got
head
destroyed.
Yeah.
He pops. He's also small.
Yeah.
All I know is most of the Vegapunks were taken out in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Not dead, but taken out.
So, yeah. No.
Lilith had the bubble gun,
Lilith had that bubble gun.
but then she was frozen in stone?
Yeah. Yeah, she was. But I think that we're going to do a flashback to what was happening in the previous day leading up to the Egghead incident start. And I think by the time Marines start attacking, the Straw Hats are at least in a better situation than they were when last we saw them. Personally. That's my thought. So, I don't know what that looks like, and I don't feel like making a prediction on it because there's a lot of factors that have to go into play there. So,
Arix?
Check it out.
The roar of the sea comes into play.
I'm very certain that the siege has begun,
yes.
and this is like the day that the papers will talk about.
okay.
I'm pretty sure on that aspect specifically. Siege is an interesting word to use because that means that they are at a standstill.
It's one of my favorite words that they've used.
The Marines are not
excited.
invading, but the Marines are not going away. They are at a standstill in that the island is surrounded and they are waiting them out. Which probably means no Kizaru like light beaming in and fucking shit up as much as I would like that. Perhaps they're gonna wait for some kind of advantage first. Perhaps Kizaru is taking the Straw Hats in this whole situation seriously. Seriously? Kizaru, seriously? That usually doesn't happen. So that's very interesting to me. And I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like. In the same regard,
Probably
we have
the same face he has all the time.
Probably the same face, but maybe he's acting to. I don't know. In the same regard, Garcia is a really.
Look for scary. What does he say? No, it's okay.
It's really hard to know what Garcia is doing because clearly he has a form that we now know of. He is
Of some kind.
He is the head of technological blah 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 whatever
Who the
warrior
fuck
god
cares,
shit.
Bureaucrat.
He
I
can-
don't respect him.
He can turn into some scary shit. If he's actually scary and fighting, we don't know. Is he just gonna wait for the siege to get advantage? Is he gonna walk up himself? I don't know if we even see Kizaru or Garcia. But they are now aspects of the siege. They were on their way there. He is there to take control of the Seraphim. As far as our crew is concerned, they're all separated into different groups on different floors, much like Aeneas Lobby, much like Wano. Like everyone's doing the, kind of their own thing, dealing with their own
just
big bosses.
much like One Piece.
Yeah, it just happens. Arc after arc after arc. Everyone can't just be together and be too easy. Lucci and Kaku had split. Lucci and Luffy.
Yep. Lucci and Luffy,
Zoro and Kaku were going to do their own thing. They were pursuing Little Mihawk, and Lucci and
Little Mihawk always having fun. Why are we on the same brainwave, man? Always.
Lucci and Luffy are taking on S-Bear. Here's the other thing. We were just introduced to S-String, S-Shadow, and S-Sand. Are they there? Are they on other assignment? Are they coming there? I don't know.
Be cool.
I'd like to see them in action, and I would hope that if all the Seraphim are gathered, that is the best case scenario for Garcia to take control of them. What's number one's name?
Shaka.
Shaka's dead.
Yeah, Shaka's dead, bro.
Shaka got shot at. It's tough.
Or at least that version of Shaka's dead. I still have hope that he's probably going to come back in a
I'm
different
hoping
body.
so. He was my favorite of all the Vegapunks, truly. And my other favorite was, of course, fucking
York.
I love those two. So the fact that one killed the other is just to me. And Vegapunk is like,
Is that like a symbol for how you have to like kill your inner demon?
I don't know. I just love it. I love
Before
it.
your inner demon kills you?
love it so much. And so she's there, looking like she's gonna eat Vegapunk and like become more whole. I don't know what she's up to.
I'm gonna become a celestial
I'm
dragon.
trying to think of what her end game is. She has control of the Seraphim. She needs to take out the Straw Hats, and then she negotiates with the world government to give them over.
They do have an opening for the Celestials.
And
now
they
you
do
mention
have an
it.
opening, but would they even consider her for that?
I mean, if she... Okay, listen, dude. If she's taking Joy Boy, who's also an emperor, hells yeah. He's like the antithesis to their top people.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. In what world does York come out of this winning? She's already mentioned that she can't fight anybody. The Seraphim are her way to like defeat people. They're all split up fighting Straw Hat groups right now.
Listen.
The few that are there. I don't know how she's getting out of this.
If they're willing to, I mean, I know it's been abolished at this point, but beforehand, they were willing to make deals with pirates.
Yeah.
they're gonna make deal with a non-pirate.
When you say pirates, you mean Shanks, right?
Well, not just Shanks, but the warlords.
But we know that Shanks is a very special case, and we know the warlords were under contract, and now they no longer
because Shanks
are.
is related to Garling.
Yeah,
But
has to be.
But
I don't think that's getting touched.
there
on
were
in a
still
while, but-
deals made, and they dealt with pirates.
So, but here's my thing. I think the only way out for York is to turn over all the other Vegapunks or show that they're killed and say, I'm going to continue to run the island as long as I get XYZ things. And I'll give over the Seraphim to you.
XYZ cannon.
Dragon cannons! No, anyway. So I think York has to go from, okay, I have Vegapunk. Hey, world government, look, here's Vegapunk. Here's a gun. I'm going to shoot Vegapunk. So talk to me, or I kill him. I kill everything, and lose all this awesome brain shit. Because don't forget that Mother Flame thing that destroyed Lucia. Apparently that was Vegapunk, which means York has access to that. Is that something Im only has access to? I don't know. She might have a lot more power than we're giving her credit for, and I think that's something we have to consider. So I think next step for York is negotiations with the world government. I think we might get those two things. I think we might get an update on what the siege is and how it's going to work and where we're at on the Marine side. And I think we might check in our heroes and York's position with Vegapunk and see that communication to the elders. Im? I don't think Im's involved, but we get to see that communication and what those... When you have hostages and you want something.
Ransom.
What that ransom is. I think we get those two things. Update on the siege.
Obviously demands also.
Demands of York. Yeah, I think that's a reasonable expectation for 1089. One of those two things at least.
Brook.
Yeah.
So, I agree with Burke in that I don't think we're going to go straight to the whatever's happening, the siege. I think we need to lead up because stuff's definitely happened since then. And I think, we need to see... I think we might see where they're at currently, and then we're going to... a day ago or something like that. And I think we're going to get the lead up.
Oh, hey, look, York's taking a shit.
Back when York was just shitting on people and not actually shitting.
So I think we'll get an update. I think next chapter is going to be mostly an update chapter for Egghead.
Our heroes are here. Our heroes are here.
Yeah, I think
Wano map.
Yeah, I think
Vegapunk's getting butt
I don't
here.
I don't think we're going straight into the nitty gritty right after what just happened on the pages. I think there's going to be.
Oda's got to spare my heart a little bit.
So I think it's going to be a catch up chapter for Egghead. Maybe we'll finally get a look at everybody, including where Bonnie's at and what she's doing.
Oh, fuck Bonnie.
I forgot about Bonnie.
Yeah.
She's got a whole memory thing happening.
She's going in the pensieve.
She's like, Dad!
Yeah.
So hard!
Find me in the
say
future.
Huh?
Don't say that.
Sorry. So
painful?
So painful! No.
It's better than hard.
It's not that much better.
It's a lot
Hard
better.
and painful.
Can we just get away from this, please?
Bonnie's
Anyways,
cute.
but yeah, so potentially we might see a little smidgen of what everyone's doing, maybe more of a focus on Luffy and Lucci, and they're dealing with S-Bear. That's what I'm thinking in terms of next chapter. I do think the raid, the siege, will consist of Straw Hats plus CB0 and the...
on their side against the Marines? You think?
Yes. Did you remember Lucci? He was like, I'll do my own justice. Fuck those guys. That's essentially what he said.
Well, don't forget, Santamaru has kind of ordered the entire island surrounded by the super trooper not Seraphim, but
the policeman pacifist.
Lucci,
Yeah,
Lucci made it clear.
that might be why they're not.
Lucci made it clear when they decided to temporarily team up that he follows his justice for him and not for them. He doesn't give a shit about them. Like he follows the justice that he follows, which is dark justice. So anyway,
Really dark justice, yeah.
because at this point they're going to try and take him out. I believe that's the plan, was to take CB0 the CB0 agents
It's
out.
definitely possible.
Probably.
So anyways, CB0, Straw Hats, whatever help they can get from remaining Vegapunk forces people will be the ones fighting off the siege. I think the siege will be multiple fronts. I think it'll be Marines. I think it'll be Blackbeard pirates. A war on 2 fronts, you know.
Mm-hmm. Do you think we see the Blackbeard pirates next chapter?
Potentially.
You think?
Potentially. I don't know. Like I said, I think it's still more of a catch-up chapter.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll end with someone landing on the island, like time to fuck shit up.
Oh, I'm sure
know?
Oda will keep his fucking cliffhangers going.
Yeah.
He's really good at those.
So, can I just make one thing here? So, I like Alex's thing earlier, where the use of the word siege clearly means that there's not really any ground being gained by either side
it's not war,
yet.
right? It's
Exactly.
siege.
But there is nothing I love in any genre more than my protagonists having to hold a fortress from something.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this, guys.
Well, I think also
This should be good.
I'm gonna make a hard opinion. I know.
I love it.
It's crazy.
I love it, Brock.
Crazy. I think that, and this may seem like a weird place to happen, but so much shit has been happening. I think at this point we're at the stage where shit can happen at any time, including big shit.
Okay.
And in terms of the big thing that happens, the main thing that comes to mind concerning the parties we know are involved,
Sure.
would be the defeat of either an admiral
Uh-huh.
or an elder star. I think I think we're going to see our first inkling of the elder star power. And I think there's a potential that now that Luffy officially has Gear 5, he can fight using that shit from the get-go. I think he's ready to take on an admiral. Yeah, boy! So I think either an admiral or an elder star are going down. Maybe both are going down, or maybe they'll be forced to retreat. And I think, listen.
Straw Hat's over here we believe that we will win. We believe that we will win.
We
You may believe.
They got it in them.
Bro, Kobe can destroy.
Just so we're clear, Brock. Just so we're clear.
This is where the hard opinion
He's
I love your hard opinion. I love it. I love it.
He's gonna be so sassy. He's gonna be so
problem.
sassy for the next 20 plus chapters. I guarantee
Here's
it.
the only problem. I also have a hard opinion. And so,
whose laugh was that?
I don't know. My hard opinion, Brock, is if Luffy does end up fighting an admiral as a final boss type thing on this, he can win. But it will not be easier than his fight with Kaido.
I never said it would be.
Which would make me very happy to know that an admiral, Kizaru specifically, may be stronger than Kaido.
I don't think he's stronger, but I think he's on his level.
What do you want me to do, Sakazuki? Go to Wano! Oh, I guess I don't have to, but I could.
What?
Remember when
He
did.
did. He did.
He literally was like, "Do you want me to go?"
I don't
to
think it was
Wano?
exactly in that.
Take
tone.
care of it?
He wasn't being posh with him.
No, there's a force there that we aren't aware of that could be dangerous. The samurai. Just because it's an unknown fighting force, get out of here. Kizaru's like, I'll go fight, Kaido.
There's so much bias here.
Whoa.
There's always been bias when it comes to Kizaru.
Look, man, all I'm saying is that Luffy can win here, absolutely, but it is not an easier fight than Kaido.
I didn't say that.
And that's what'll make me happy. That's my hard opinion.
That's not even a hard opinion.
How disappointed will you be if it is an easier fight than Kaido?
If it is an easier fight,
How disappointed would
How
you be?
disappointed will you be? I'm very curious.
if it's Luffy,
Take your bias out of this. How disappointed? And actually, no. Keep your bias in it because that's why you're disappointed.
Let's hear all the bias. What happened?
I think Luffy should be able to defeat an admiral by the end of the series. If admirals are the greatest fighting force that the Marines have to offer.
So is the fleet
If the
admiral
Elder
stronger than
I'm
the
not
admiral?
done.
Okay.
If the Elder Stars, in your opinion, are stronger than them, then maybe they should be the final antagonist. If Im is stronger than them,
don't necessarily
then
know if
maybe
they are, though.
I know.
Let him do his thing.
I know.
He's got to do his hand motion.
So, with that in mind, if the Admirals are the final force that the Marines, that the Straw Hats need to overcome, Kizaru should be an end of series fight, not an Egghead arc. Before
I don't know.
Final
I don't even know if they're end of series.
I think they are. I think the 3 Admirals, whoever it ends up
What
being,
if Zoro takes him out?
is at the end of the series.
No, what if Zoro takes him out
Here?
here? What if Zoro takes him out here and
You're really not answering the question.
I am trying to explain.
No, we don't need you to explain.
Look
like,
here.
if it was an easy fight, how would you feel? How would you react?
What do you mean by easy fight?
Like if they rolled.
No,
So
no.
here's so easy fight. Garp blitzing Kuzan and putting on his back like that.
Don't compare anything.
No
Just
comparisons?
if they just rolled Kizaru, all
Like-
I'm asking is
like-
what would your reaction
Like he
be?
doesn't even get a
with
name
that-
attack
with-
out.
Of course he gets an attack out.
Okay,
But like,
that's why I'm looking
Like,
for how
okay.
easy. You need to frame it for me.
okay.
No, it's what obvious difference in power. Like this is completely hypothetical. I don't think there's much of a difference in power there.
Like,
Say it takes 10 chapters.
no, that's decent.
Okay.
Oh, that's decent. That's way decent.
Because I feel like that's a pretty short fight.
No, 10 chapters.
It is compared to Kaido.
Oh.
Compared to Kaido's?
Yeah, but how many people fought fucking... Okay, if you really break down the chapters where
Compared to the
Luffy
actual
1v1'd
act
him,
of taking down
really
Kaido,
wasn't that many
You're
chapters.
talking about, like,
There's a whole
40
arc.
plus
There's-
chapters.
Yes, but that's a whole island versus Kaido.
Sure.
That's not Luffy versus Kaido. Luffy versus Kaido is like 10 chapters.
I'm aware of that.
That's what I'm saying. So if it's Luffy
And,
versus
if I,
Kizaru...
and I would be a little bit more like 10, 15,
Here's what I'll say.
20 tops.
If Kizaru is rolled over in less than 20 chapters by a single character, I will be heavily disappointed. Now, if it's the Straw Hats and the Vegapunks and whatever...
What if we only get actual 5 chapters of dedicated fight to, like, okay, because you're saying 10's okay.
If
What
the
we
whole
only
island,
get-
if the whole island beats Kizaru, reasonable.
No, of course.
If Luffy
If
has
I'm saying-
if it's Luffy in a room, Kizaru in a room, oh! Right, they fight.
5 dedicated
they
chapters
fight.
in said room of 1v1 Kizaru, Luffy, or,
And it's-
on the flip side, Zoro and Kizaru.
And there's like no damage to Zoro and or Luffy in that case.
Maybe a little bit of damage.
Disappointing.
Okay.
Disappointing. I think there should be some very heavy stakes in the fight.
Okay.
And I think there should be like some barely making it on the protagonist side, but winning still. But at this point, I don't think possible. I think Kizaru is an end of
So
saga.
are you disappointed
antagonist.
by the Sanji and Zoro fights on Wano?
No, I love those.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though, like, Sanji's
They're
biggest...
not
Sanji's biggest... I'm not just... Hear me out
Yeah.
here, because I'm
Yeah.
at least trying to make it about, like, characters
Sure,
that
sure.
you care about.
I do.
Which you care about Sanji. Because I would also
I
posit...
care about Zoro.
I would also posit Sanji as a third person to fight Kizaru. The only reason I say no to that is because if I'm in my head canon, I'm thinking St. J. Garcia Saturn is actually the strongest person here right now of the antagonistic force coming.
That's fair.
Personally. I know you and I disagree on that. We talk about it at work. We disagree. I'm positing that St. J. Garcia Saturn is Luffy's fight, and the second most powerful person to me is Kizaru. So
Let me give you this. In your example, I think if Zoro and Sanji both fight Kizaru and win, I'm not mad at all.
even if it's like it's super easy.
I am not mad at all.
Okay.
If those two team up, because we all know when those two team up,
Shit gets done,
it's
bro.
a shame for whoever that fight is.
Yeah.
Because he's got the kicks, he's got the light, Kizaru literally has both. I have said for a long ass time, those two versus Kizaru, and then Luffy versus Aki Inu is a perfect world endgame saga admiral defeat for me. I think it takes both though.
I can live with that.
I think it takes both.
I can live with that.
But that said, I don't think Kizaru is defeated on its own. I think he may lose the battle.
Let me rephrase.
Go ahead.
I don't think Kizaru gets taken out of the story here, or out of the war.
Like Ryukyogu did.
I think he would suffer a temporary loss here and would come back later.
Okay.
And I think it would be big enough news that
Montoya, big news.
a Yonko beating Admiral would be huge.
Here's my thing with that. And really, it's not a huge thing.
Yes, it is.
Well, not what you're saying. Here's why, in my opinion, that's not a huge thing, and I think they won't do it here. I think the Straw Hats can... some crazy incident's going to happen, right?
Yes.
Whatever that headline is, whatever the article is that they write about this day, right? It's going to be a huge deal. I feel like we have had admirals lose before, and it wasn't that big of a deal. Aki Inu versus Aokiji being my primary example, right? Aki Inu became fleet admiral, Aokiji left. Yeah, that happened.
Well, I mean, that was 2 admirals,
I know. But still, that was the last headline I can think of that involved an admiral that went to the world.
The shocking part comes from the fact that one of the strongest people of justice would lose to a pirate.
Here's my hard opinion on what the shocking news could be related to.
God, you're so hard.
And it has to be an elder. No, it has to be an elder. For this to be as shocking as Oda is making it up to be, it has to involve an elder's
So do
death.
you think we're going to see his power?
An elder missing? Who? Oh, yeah.
The elder?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
Okay,
I agree with Burke that I think Saturn is here to show us what the elders can do and why we should fear them. And whether that's because they have some kooky, weird shit that they do, or if they just are monsters, I think Saturn is here
Just a bunch of kooky guys.
Yeah, Well, they might have really freaky powers.
Just one wild and crazy guy.
Take on the scariest person in all of the Don Quixotes, right? Is Sugar, in my personal opinion. Her ability is horrifying. No one remembers you. You spend the rest of your life as a toy. That's a horrifying fate, and it's a little girl who can't do shit, right? If they have abilities like that, that makes me more fearful of them than being just monsters, right? So that's why I say, if an elder is in the news, defeated, missing, killed, whatever, I think that has to be the shocking news story. And I think an admiral being defeated doesn't really swell up to the same kind of, insanity.
I don't know, man.
No, that's my hard opinion. I think an admiral being defeated
so hard
is wild. Because I don't think we've had a news story where Yonko has beaten an admiral. In fact, the last time we had something like that, Whitebeard was killed by the Marines. The Marines had victory over Yonko.
Well, I mean, that's why I think it would be such a thing.
It was just barely a victory.
Yeah.
Honestly, if Blackbeard hadn't showed up, I bet things would have gone a little bit worse.
Here's the thing, though, too. And I don't think we should discount all the vice admirals that came with Kizaru. There's some strong ones there, too. Sure. We might get to see what Dahl does. Then again, they might just be like the Flying Six and, have their own fights and get knocked out, whatever. Hey, they were cool until they fought, and then it was,
There was plenty of cool stuff in the Flying Six.
Yeah.
Ulti and Page 1 were the biggest letdowns.
I think...
And I still love them.
Taken out by a Yonko, it's a tough one,
I was mostly talking, Ulti was ultimately taken out by... sorry, that was a weird run-on sentence for me.
Yeah.
Weird sentence. Ultimately taken out by Nami, but after taking a pretty fucking big hit from Big
80% damage Big Mom, 20% Nami.
No, for sure.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. So as long we don't have a Yonko, right? We don't really have a Yonko in this arc besides Luffy himself. So we just have Marines versus the Straw Hats. With whatever Blackbeard shit's gonna happen in there. And it's gonna be fucking terrible, whatever they do.
Rockin' and a rollin', splishing and a splashing over the horizon. What can it be? Look like it's Emperor Buggy.
I'm not saying Cross Guild shows up here, but how fucking insane would it be is if Kizaru's coming in, all fucking awesome and shit, and then you just hear, woo! $3 billion Admiral Bounty! It's Kizaru! And it's just Buggy. Get him, Mihawk! And Mihawk's just shing, fuck, dude, that'd be cool. And maybe that could be the way that, the Strats get away, and they don't have to, beat an Admiral here, as Cross Guild gets involved. I mean, he's shipping out to find the One Piece. Don't forget Buggy.
Yes, sir.
Good old Buggy.
Okay.
Do you have any hard opinions, Burke? About Egghead?
Yeah, Kizaru and Garcia are gonna get absolutely wasted.
You're done.
Yeah.
Out of the story like Big Mom and Kaido.
No, yeah. The fact that he named it as a siege. Straw Hats are rising, man.
All right.
Dark Knight Rises, but with Luffy.
I'm very down to see how it all plays out.
That's even harder than my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey,
they're-
man, that's
they're
my
getting
opinions.
wasted. They're getting wasted. Like Grand Theft Auto wasted. Kizaru's gonna fall over on the fucking sidewalk and he's gonna wasted.
I can see it. I think something else is gonna happen.
I think. So here's what I would think too. I think in the case that I think it would be a clear victory. I don't think it would be an easily won victory if that were to happen. But I think obviously strides don't really kill people.
I just want Luffy to have.
But I can imagine the Blackbeard pirates kind of doing their thing, coming up behind and type thing. I don't know.
To who?
Could be Kizaru.
Ah, you fucking bullshitter! Hell no.
No, I'm not. They're not weak.
They're not beating an animal.
That's why they would sneak on him when he's weakened.
I hope not, dude. That would be the most disappointing.
I wasn't saying...
That would be the most disappointing thing for me. That would be the most disappointing thing for me. That one.
I just want Luffy to have bragging rights the next time he runs into Jaggy or Law.
If Devon and Lafitte take out Kizaru any sort of way, oh,
What
fuck.
if it's like...
I might have to take a break. I might have to take a month break.
What if it's like he actually got like beat the shit out of, and then they just come and like they just like kill him and they have an apple that they're just
No!
light fruit.
No! I can't.
Just
handle
violate.
that.
Look what they did to
That's-
my boy.
that's-
Look how they massacred
Look
my
how they
boy.
massacred my
I
boy.
would be in sorrow for months. Genuinely.
Praise the sun.
I would bring nothing interesting to the podcast. I would just be like,
Okay.
for months. I would just be like, 1095.
And then
Garp learns his
and then after
lesson.
they get the light fruit, they're like, oh, let's go get Marco next.
Just kill
Great,
him.
Dude, you know how many times they've had a chance to get fucking Marco's shit? They don't want it.
Guess not.
They don't want it. Clearly. Oh, man. Brock, anything else?
No, I think.
I'm done.
Good
You
good
got
bunch
my-
of hard opinions there.
So, yeah.
But only thing that will tell is time. And the next few chapters, or however many it takes, to get to this big old whatever it
What if
is.
Chapter 1100, just like Zoro just like stabs Kizaru through the head.
So for those of you who haven't figured out yet, he really loves Kizaru, and a good like 65 to 70% of what we're saying is to also just give him shit.
Yeah. If you like Kizaru, shit on these guys in the comments.
It's totally fine.
Alright.
We're immune.
Dude, Kizaru stands are hard. You'll see.
Oh, I believe it.
I've
You've already proven
Bro,
that.
I know.
Bro, I go on the One Piece subreddit. I know how many of the stands for everyone
Yeah, that's
are
true.
hard. It's actually to the point where I'm like, can we just nuke all these guys? Can we go Oppenheimer on these people?
I'll Oppenheimer your fucking Zoro lovers.
Okay?
Yeah.
You can't. That doesn't hurt me. I'm a
Same.
Luffy stan, bro.
Couldn't tell by the hat. You
Yeah.
wear a bandana, bro.
Anyway, I think that's all we have for this.
Thank you so much for tuning in and watching our predictions and all the other bullshit we was doing.
A lot of it.
Lots of fun though. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, ring that bell, and we will see you 2 weeks from now after the break. Bye.
Foxy for the win!
Foxy for the win.
Fucking bitches.